So this lesson is over 7.3b. It is using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of rational numbers. We're going to start with number 3. I'm going to zoom in on it. It says Mandy must read a 275-page book in 12 days. If she reads 22 pages each day, will she finish the book within 12 days? Justify your answer. So you could do this one of two ways. One way is to take the book and divide it among the days. Okay, because it's 275 pages in 12 days is her goal. It can go in 2 times, which is 24, leaves you 3. It can go in here 2 times also, leaving 11. Okay, so you can stop right there because you didn't total this to 0. And since this didn't total 0, you know that it's going to go over 22 pages each day. So you could say, is she going to finish? You could say, no. Another thing that you could do is you could take the 22 pages each day that she's reading, and you can multiply that by 12. So you get 4, 4, 0, 2, 2, to find that that's only 264 pages. That's not enough for the 275. So you could do it either way, but either way tells you, no, that is not enough time. And I've always said your justification is doing those. Okay, let's look at the next one. The next one is this one. The school budgeted $1,450 for an educational field trip. 3/5 of that money will be used for entry fees. How much money remains for lunches and travel expenses? Okay, so this is their total amount. I need to figure out how much 3/5 of the money is. So I need to know what 3/5 of 1,450 is. So same thing that we did with percents, we're going to change this to a decimal. This is a decimal you should know. It's 0.6 or 0.60. Of means multiply, and multiply by 1,450. So I'm going to do that down here. You get, that's 30. That's 24, 27, 6, 7, 8 with 1 behind. So 3/5 of the money is $875. $870 will be used to get entry. I need to know how much is left for lunches and travel expenses. So I need to take how much we had all together. I need to take how much the entry fee is and subtract to find out how much money is left. All right, we get 15 after we borrow. We got to borrow again. We find that we have $580 left after we've paid our entry fee. All right, next problem. A ream of paper contains 500 sheets. Miss Collins uses 85 sheets per day. All right, 85 sheets per day. When she opened a new ream, 15 sheets were torn and unusable. How many days will Miss Collins be able to make copies based on the usable reams of paper? Okay, so she needs 85 per day. 500 is what they had total and in that one ream, but 15 weren't usable. So first off, we need to take how many papers were in there, take away the unusable paper, and find that there's 485. Okay, so now that I know how many sheets are usable, I know that she has to use 85 per day. So I'm going to take the usable sheets and split them up among how many she has to use every day, and that's going to tell me how many days that she has to use that. 85 cannot go into 48, so I have to figure out how many times it can go into 485. I'm just going to start with 5. It's a good place, so that's 25. That's 42. 85 times 6, there's 30. There's 48, 49, 50, 51. So that went over. So she has 5 days. She has 5 days that she can make copies, and she will still have paper left over. However, it's not going to be enough for her to use 85 per day. Okay, so she will still be able to make copies for 5 days. Okay, Chef Mason collected 4 2/3 pounds of blueberries on Monday, 5 5/8 pounds of strawberries on Tuesday, and 4 1/4 pounds of blackberries on Wednesday. How many pounds of berries has Chef Mason collected? So it wants to know the total. So you take your blueberries and you take your strawberries and you take the blackberries and you add them all together. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we can add all of our big numbers together, our whole numbers, okay? And 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13, so I know that I have 13 wholes. So now I'm gonna take each of my fractions, and I have to have a common denominator. I have to make them all get to the same thing on bottom, and I'm gonna choose 24 for every one of them. 3 to get to 24 is times 8, so I have to do 2 times 8, which is 16. 8 to get to 24 is times 3, so I'm going to do 5 times 3, which is 15. 4 to get to 24 is times 6, so 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, so then what you do is your denominator stays at 24, but you add all of these together. So 16 plus 15 is 31, and 31 plus 6 is 37, which you see that that's more on top. So 37, so you do 37 divided by 24, can go in one time. So you have 13 left over. So I have 1 and 13 over 24 because my leftover is my numerator. My denominator stays what it was. So I have 13 wholes plus 1 and 13 24th. So I add my 2 whole numbers again. So I get 14 and 13 24ths total pounds of berries. All right, number 3. Terry bought 3 video games for $21.75 each. Okay, very important. $21.75 each. He bought a game controller for $49.99 and batteries for $9.97. He received a 20% discount off of the total bill. How much was her charge before taxes to the nearest cent? So the first thing we need to do is we need to take our video games, and since they're each, we need to find out how much was spent on all 3 video games. So we multiply those together. You get 15, 22, that's 3, 4, 5, and then you get 6, 2 behind the decimal. So she spent $65.25 on video games, or he. So then we need to find out how much was spent altogether. So we take the cost of the video games, the cost of the controller, and the cost of the batteries, and we add everything together. 5 plus 9 is 14, and 14 plus 7 is 21. So this is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's 18. 18 plus 5 is 23, 24. You have 8 plus 4 is 12. So her total cost is $124.21, but we are not finished because she got a 20% discount off of the total. So we are now having to find how much 20% of her total bill is. Okay, you do that by changing this to a decimal. So we're going to do 124.21 times 0.20. We're going to get zeros for everything on the first row. Then we get 2, 4, 8, 4, and 2. Add everything together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 behind the decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, when we're dealing with money, we only go 2 decimal places back. That 2 will not bump the 4 to a 5. So we're going to say that the total discount is $24.84. A discount means that that's money that gets to be taken away. So you take your total amount, you take your discount, and you subtract to find out how much you pay in total. So you did some borrowing, and we get 7. We have to do more borrowing. Get 3. Bring the decimal down. We're going to make that into 11, which makes this 13. So I get a 9 here, and 11 minus 2 is 9. Her total bill, or his total bill, is $99.37 after the discount. A lot of you are going to stop here, or you're going to stop here and not subtract those two. So make sure you don't make that mistake.